Members, good morning. As many, if not all, have heard since yesterday that I turned in my resignation to the Speaker. We met yesterday during lunch. I've known for a little while that I was going to do this, but given the opportunity, I sure have tossed around trying to decide what do I say, how do I say it, and who do I say it to. I've been very fortunate to be able to serve the public for many years in my military service and my law enforcement time, and about 9.5 years now here serving in the People's House. It's truly been an honor to serve, to create the relationships and the lifelong friendships. I want to start by thanking Kevin Pearson, who's been a great friend of mine who I didn't know 10 years ago, and Kevin for putting up with all the visitors who every time Kevin came back to his seat, somebody was sitting in his chair, and for just being my friend. Pat Connick, who also has been a close friend, helped me get our first nickname together as Starsky and Hutch. That's a long story. You'll have to ask me offline. Jim Morris and Brett Guyman, for the many hours you shared of your personal time teaching me everything wrong about the budget process, and for never buying me a meal in 8 years. Kurt Talbot and Cameron, if you ought to go fight just to get my seat, guys and gals, because there's never a dull moment, and Talbot's offered me a lifetime pass to all the lucky dogs I can eat. Andy Anders, who gave my son and I the experience of killing our first bucks together. Andy, I appreciate your friendship and everything. My son loves you like a daddy. And for making me realize that there's not a Waffle House in every city or town in Louisiana. Noble Ellington and Noble and I, it's funny how I've created these friendships with guys who I really couldn't understand how they talk. Noble taught me not to let politics ruin my friendships, and for giving me a place to stay when I wouldn't stay at Andy Anders' camp, because he was only like 30 miles up the road. I want to thank the staff. And there's no way I can get into everybody, but I don't need to tell you what the staff means to this process. And I will, thank them later today on their individual floors. So after our first session, I had a meeting at Walk-Ons with Steve Carter and Mike Danahay and angry Joe Harrison. Of course, he wasn't that angry back then, which would eventually lead to the fiscal hawks, which in my opinion changed the tone in this Capitol. The public doesn't know, but my best work people didn't see. I consistently tried to organize groups to change this process. I worked to herd and organize meetings to reform the budget and capital outlay processes, even though my friend in the back doesn't remember that. Worked to establish bipartisan working groups for long-term budget reform and organize meetings to educate new members. We have been faced with tough fiscal issues ever since I was elected, but I truly believe it was the right time for me to be here. But I also enjoyed working on many other issues: education reforms, advocating for foster children, learning about the many obstacles facing the disability community, working with many of you on hurricane preparedness, supporting our veterans, and standing strong for law enforcement, and last but not least, hoopla. I figured I'd at least get a little giggle out of somebody. I would tell you to never stop fighting for your beliefs, to have courage to do what you think is right, even if there's a price. A famous cowboy once said, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." My solutions were simple. Treat every penny like a dollar, Don't spend more than what you have. Save for a rainy day. Everything is on the table when balancing the budget, and everyone should have skin in the game. I've learned to respect your opinion, though I may not disagree all the time. I believe your opinion is as important as any. But no one individual is bigger than this institution. It was here before us and will be here after us. This institution must be respected and honored. We serve the people and not the other way around. I've given a tremendous amount of time and effort studying to improve the processes. You may think you have plenty of time, but I'm telling you, it's gone in a flash. I believe that running for office, just like serving in office, requires you to be completely committed. I do not want anyone to doubt where my commitment is. Therefore, I have given my notice of resignation. I am fully committed to running to be the next State Treasurer of Louisiana, and I want you to know that I'm all in. And I'll save this for last. I want to thank each and every one of you. I'm sad in a way, but I think you would agree I've left it all on the field. Whether we agree or not, I've left it all there. I leave without an ounce of regret or negativism or any way, shape, or form. This is a very positive thing for me and my family. And you each know how difficult it is on your families, especially when you got a hard-headed husband like me. No way could I have done what I've done in the last 9 years, and even in my military and law enforcement career, my wife has been there every step of the way, 32 plus years. As an educator, as my wife and mother of our family, she's unfortunately couldn't be here today because she didn't know exactly when I would do this. I didn't know exactly when I would do it. But I wanted to recognize her, recognize my children, Brittany and John Michael, for giving me up, because that meant they lost, sort of. But I'll end by thanking each and every one of you for the work that you do. Do it with good spirit. Do it for the right reasons. It's not about us. There's a larger part to life, and I think we all know what that is. I appreciate your friendships. I don't think they're going to be over. My phone is always on 24/7. I love all of you, even Barbara Norton, and I can. Is she here? You got a question for me, real quick, Barbara? But no, that was a joke. That was a joke. But seriously, I appreciate your time. I appreciate just all the work that we'll be able to do. And look, things will work out the way they're supposed to work out. I have a lot of faith, and I know there's a lot of God-fearing people in this building. So God bless all of y'all, and let's just get through this session. Thank you.